What it was like the first time I snorted meth. I'm going to start sharing a lot of what the first times were for me, just for the ones out there struggling. I like to just share my experiences and stuff for the ones out there struggling with addiction, just to know that they're not alone. And methamphetamines, that first experience snorting meth for the very first time is burned into my brain. It was a horrible experience because it was not what I thought it was. It was not the high that I wanted. And it was one of those, made me even more scared of the drug and knew how dangerous this drug was. And so I wanted to share this experience for the one out there struggling, knowing that you're not alone. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and I am diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, MDD. Those are my diagnoses. I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict. Lost a wife and a father to suicide, and I'm very open. I share about a lot of these different subjects, just as the story of my life of what I've been through for the one out there struggling, just to know that you're not alone. When it comes to meth, my first experience with meth, I have never smoked meth. I have never IV'd meth. Those are ways that people do use the drug. I know people even who are addicted to the drug that put it in coffee. For me, the only times I've ever done meth was by snorting it. You can snort meth and get high off of snorting it, and it was never one of these drugs that I seeked out and was like, dude, let's go get some crank, let's go get some meth, No, I don't even know the slangs for these drugs because I hated it so much. Like, meth to me was always just a dirty drug. It was something that didn't interest me. That's why, hence, it was never my drug of choice. But snorting it when it's laid out and I'm thinking it's cocaine, that I would do. And that's how I did it the first time. The very first time I ever did meth, I was with some friends, wanted to do cocaine, and I had ran out of my cocaine. I was a very selfish cocaine user. I didn't like to share it, but of course, if anybody had any, I would gladly do theirs. So I had some friends and they're like, dude, yeah, we got, you want to do a little? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So they lay me out a line, and I'm not really paying attention. Like, I never wanted to make it a big deal if somebody was giving me drugs, because I didn't want it to, be that freeloader. So I'd be like, oh, it ain't no thing. They're hooking me up. And so I never really paid attention to what exactly they're laying out and how this stuff would come out of the bags. And they would lay me out a line. And I remember them laying out this line, and he's like, here you go, bro. Rolled up a bill. And in fact, the guy who did it laid out one for him, and boom, he does his line, hands me the bill. And I'm just like, sweet. Boom. And you get down, and I snorted this line, and I didn't realize what it was, totally thinking this was cocaine. Not paying attention to the color or any of it, and I'm snorting it up, and all I can feel is it burning as soon as it hits here, all the way up into my sinuses. My eyes start to water. I feel it start to go down, and it's all burning. It feels like I snorted up glass shards, and instantly I knew what it was. And the drip, the taste, all of it in your mouth, that aftertaste is all different. It was very chemically tasted, not it wasn't like a chlorine taste, but cocaine always had this very unique taste to it. Where with meth, it did not. It was just like, I remember spitting even. Realizing like my nose didn't necessarily get plugged up, and I never did massive amounts of meth. But man, this hit me, and I remember it kind of hitting my system, knowing what it was, being angry. And again, just like with cocaine, this did hit my system in about, I would say, couple minutes, 5 minutes. By then I felt my jaw start to lock up. So there were some similarities to coke with just the locked jaw, the eyes. I did get more paranoia than what I had when I would do coke. Like that first time I was like paranoid. I was like looking at my hands. I tensed up tremendously, mouth locked up tremendously. All I remember is beating myself up in my head. Everything kind of slowed down for me because, again, I take Adderall. I've been on Adderall most of my life, which is ADHD med, which is a amphetamine salt. So it's somewhat similar to methamphetamines. And yeah, it had that effect of like Adderall, of slowing me down, focusing me in. It was high. I felt like a clouded head. My head was kind of lifting off, and paranoia, but still yet focused at the same time. And so it wasn't the high that I was looking for when it came to coke, because this was a focused in high of like, okay, what do I do now? Versus this big mood energy high, this energized high, this party high, this confidence boost high. It did none of that for me. It made me feel like my head was disconnecting a little bit from my body. My body's all tense, my jaw's tense, and just focusing now on my breathing. And I remember just fighting it through this high, and it lasts in your system a lot longer than what cocaine does. Cocaine is out of your system in 10, 15 minutes. Meth's a lot longer in your system. And just pushing through this high, not wanting to do any more because I had like clarity to my brain, unlike with cocaine, of like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing more coke. I got to keep chasing this high. I don't want to lose this high. With meth, it was the opposite of like, okay, I can't touch anything right now. I'm just going to drink because I got to get my head to reattach to my body, and I need this paranoia to go away. I need this tenseness in my body to go away. So that was what the high was like the first time for me. It wasn't very fun. It was a nightmare. I have only done meth about 3 times in my entire life, and the only times I ever did it was because someone laid it out like a line and I wouldn't pay attention. It was a drug that scared me. I knew that how chemically based it was, and I knew a lot of the houses and people that I knew that used it. I didn't want to be like them. And it wasn't the high that I enjoyed. And again, that's why I think we kind of call it our drugs of choice. It's not something that was my drug of choice. I mean, for the one out there struggling, who's trying to get sober, trying to get clean, I know what it's like because it's a fight, man. And it took me from 23 to 36 to get sober. I have links down below to AA and NA. They're great resources out there. And if you're trying to get sober, tell everybody in your life that you're struggling, that you're an addict, that you need help. And believe me, they know that you're an addict. They know that you need help. Ask for help, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And just remember that it is one day at a time. It does get better. Hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts, hear your inputs, because again, everybody's experiences are different. Everybody who got sober, I can tell you this, their experience is though the same. We all look back and go, God, I wish I would have never done that. But you know what? We live and we learn and we get stronger through. And if I can get sober, so can you. So don't give up.